Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dudettes. I am Matt Burns. I am usually one half of the broadcast that is The Burning Truth, and usually I have JB with me, but unfortunately he has not been able to make it this week due to prior commitments, and due to a massively busy schedule, we haven't been able to reschedule for this week's episode. So instead of it being cancelled, we directed it, and especially with the topic that we've got on, well, that is going to be discussed today. I personally felt as though if we put off for another week, it wouldn't be bothering even being brought up at all, and it wouldn't do it any justice. As such, on one of the main topics, however, I have got cover a quite dramatic, a quite global affecting issue that has been ongoing in America. And I believe most of you may already know what that's in regards to, but I will be stating in regards to it. I'm not going to be delving too much into the details of that. I'm just going to be mentioning about it a little bit, but stating where the burning truth is more or less potentially going to be in regards to that. Which, don't worry, we're not going to do any swerves or anything like that. But I'm pretty. Hopefully, you should be happy where we stand in regards to it. But let's just get on to the audio disclaimer. At this moment in time, some of the topics that we do discuss may have some adult-themed topics and languages that may be unsuitable for younger listeners, and if anyone does find some of the topics or the language unsuitable for younger viewers or may find it offensive, please understand, audio discretion is advised. You have been warned, and that is all I'm going to have to state in regards to this. But just to fill in John Blaw's one per week, I'm just going to just state that the following, please understand that the Burning Truth episode may contain strobe lighting effects. In case anybody wants to know why I'm carrying it on, come on, strobe lighting effect on an audio broadcast, still funny. But anyway, let's get on to... I just want to touch this subject very, very briefly because it is something that is ongoing in America at this moment in time, and it is affecting lives on a massive scale. On top of that, it's during a time of a massive crisis that has occurred and can affect social distancing, and it's not just affecting, well, it's initially started in the US, but it's now also coming across where protests are occurring in the UK now. If you're still not sure what I am talking about in regards to, it is in regards to the unfortunate state of what happened, the unfortunate happenings of what happened to a gentleman by the name of George Floyd that occurred over in America. And I've got to say, I've looked into some of this myself. It isn't something I would actually state should have a massive, heavy disclaimer if you do not know about this. I think what has been going on over there is massively. It's just, in case you want to know where the Burning Truth currently stands, we are going to state the following, which is that Black lives do matter because all lives matter. We're all the same. And that is where we stand in regards to it. We do agree that Black lives do matter. We should all be treated fairly. We should all be treated the same. And just when I'm stating this, no one should, regardless of it, if we're all being treated the same, it doesn't mean that we're actually losing any rights. We're gaining somebody else who should be having this, who is entitled to the same rights as what everyone should be having. So with that, I'm going to leave it there. I know if some of you do want to look it up further, I do have to provide a cautionary advice in regards to the subject matter, because it may be unsuitable for younger viewers, or younger viewers, younger listeners, younger readers, and some of it may be maybe massively unsuitable for certain. If you have a nervous disposition, I do advise you to not look into it too much. But I do feel as though the hashtag Black Lives Matter should potentially be looked into, and that is where I am going to leave that subject for this week, unless something massively major happens in regards to where it cannot be ignored, or if you do want us to address it further, or feel as though we haven't addressed it enough, do send a message in to us. Either be on the Burning Truth, be it through our social media, through email, on the website and everything, and we will try to make it as clear as possible in regards to if you feel as though we haven't discussed where we stand on it, and as such. And if you wanted to hear JB's side of it as well, because yes, I know he isn't here, but it is, if you do want to hear his side of it, as in vocally himself, I'm pretty sure he'd be understanding if you do want to hear it. But all I'm just going to state in regards to this, that is where we're going to leave. I'm going to leave that subject for this week. What it is an absolute tragedy what has happened to George Floyd, and hopefully a peaceful resolution can come forward from all of this, because it's unfortunate. And I'm now going to move on to the next subject for this week. And before I move on to the next subject, I'm just going to state this week's going to be potentially not as long as other episodes, potentially because of in regards to some of the topics that we're going to be covering, but hopefully I'm going to try and get it as close to the usual time as much as possible. But this might be a shorter episode this week, just so you know. And at any point, if you feel as though you want to voice your opinion in regards to anything, do send a message over to The Burning Truth. I will hopefully have, voice your opinion on the air. If you feel we're wrong, if you feel that we're right, or if you want to just have a general discussion, or if you have anything interesting for us to discuss. Don't be afraid. We're not going to bite. We're not going to, point anybody out at all. Not at all. We are here for, we want this to be a discussion, and as such, we want to hear your side of it as much as, if you are listening to our side, we want to hear your side as well, and hear your thoughts as well. But anyway, we're going to move on to the next subject, which is going to be in regards to a WWE having a new move on the ban list. And I will state, it is one that I'm surprised wasn't on this list much sooner. In case if anybody wants to know what the move I'm in regards to, it would be the buckle bomb. Now, everyone's saying, well, how's the buckle bomb dangerous? We've seen him just landing on something. Caution. The fact is, the move is that dangerous, and this is how dangerous it is, the fact that it technically ended Sting's career. It was one of the moves that was involved that ended up ending Sting's career. And on top of that, it has recently caused an injury on the main roster, being Kairi Sane. Now, in case you want to know who were the main two users, well, the people who've used it, you know, more noticeably on WWE, which was Seth Rollins and Nia Jax. Now, and I'll say this, well, it technically, I'm going to say, more than just ended Sting's career, it also technically caused Finn Balor to be injured when he won the Universal Championship, you know, being the first time. However, the buckle bomb wasn't technically a buckle bomb, it was more of a barricade bomb, seeing as the move was actually done to the barricade on the outside and it just didn't land right. And that's where the danger of it is, if the move doesn't land right, it can cause some severe and serious injuries. Now, in the case of Kairi Sane, there has been speculation of has it aired? I believe that there was one where it did look quite nastily, but people have stated that it may have not. The actual one where it's actually injured Kairi Sane may have not aired potentially. If it has, then that is unfortunate. But even so, you know, if the move is being dangerous, then it shouldn't be going forward. And if it is causing an injury list, then, you know, it is a move that is going to be added onto the ban list. And Seth Rollins, you know, one of Seth Rollins' moves hasn't, you know, this isn't the only one that's been added to the ban list. Because if I recall, the curb stomp was on the list for a long time. Because I believe that WWE didn't want children imitating the move. However, they did eventually bring it back to negate against, you know, him doing the pedigree. Triple H, you know, an imitation of Triple H's pedigree. Especially when he was against Triple H, I believe. Now, in regards to the actual me thoughts on the buckle bomb, I definitely agree if it's causing injuries in regards to it. And I will say, I've seen when Seth is used, he hasn't gone out there to vindictively injure somebody. And I'm sure anybody else who has done the move themselves, you know, including Nia Jax and everything, you know, that isn't the case. Now, what I find interesting is a lot of people saying, you know, in regards to this should be definitely a banned move. It is going to be a banned move, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be one that you're not going to see for a long potential while, especially not while they're currently at the you know, the development center, while they're currently doing pre-tapings and everything, due to health and safety reasons. And it should be on the ban list because it has caused injuries, it has ended careers, and it should not be a move that should be continued to be implemented for future, simply because it's damn well hurting people and it's dangerous. It shouldn't be happening. Right. But at the same time, I know this might sound a bit, you know, potentially, as I find it unusual that the move has been kept around, has been available to be used even when it ended Sting's career. I thought it did get temporarily banned once already, and then sort of got brought back into it, and this is like a second ban. But if it is a second ban, then it should be it. If it is a first ban, then I question why it hasn't been banned sooner. The one thing I do find a bit unusual is why is Nia Jax using it? She shouldn't be using something like that because I wouldn't mind as such. For the past few weeks, I understand that Nia Jax has voiced her opinions on Ronda Rousey supposedly injuring certain other female wrestlers. Now, I find that a bit unfortunate because when I watched the paper, the Money in the Bank pay per view, and certain Raw episodes recently, I feel as though Nia Jax has been absolutely massively dangerous in the ring and should be potentially getting either warned, demoted down, back to development centres, get some retraining done, or as such, not a championship title match, which is unfortunate. It just seems a bit, because if she's injuring workers, now in regards to Karrion, everyone's saying, "Oh, it's a fluke, it's an injury, it's a little bit." This is not just once with Karrion saying no. She has injured. I believe there was a case where she might have injured her in the past. Now, before when she was in NXT, there wasn't any injuries. It's almost like ever since she's been sort of brought up to the main roster, it seems to be occurring now, almost regularly. It seems a bit unfortunate because if that's the case where if they're just pushing her because of who she might be related to, or who she is related to, then that's a massive unfortunate and shouldn't be happening. Because if she's injuring somebody, then I'm sorry, but what happens when the entire locker room is injured? Are you rewarding her? You shouldn't be rewarding if someone's so. But if it's accidental, then training should be getting provided to assist to correct that mistake, and as such. And if it is accident, then I don't agree with punishing. But if it is on purpose, then punishment should be provided as such. And that's where I'm going to leave that subject for unless something additional comes up and anything else. And I'm now going to move on to a subject that I originally didn't plan on bringing it up. I'm going to have to get the soapbox out because, once again, somebody is going across three shows, and I want to know why. And I want to know why she's being allowed to go across 3 shows. Oh, let's all fight for the same person. Yes, we understand that her name is Flair. But for Christ's sake, she is the NXT Women's Champion. I know you're trying to say, "Oh, we're making it look good by having her fight against people on Raw and SmackDown." Yay! It doesn't look amazing when she isn't winning on them shows either. And on top of that, what makes it even worse is, and I'm trying to get this through my head, on SmackDown, non-championship match. Right, okay, fine with that. Let's stick her on Raw now. Let's put her on Raw. Triple threat for the number 1 contender for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. She's the frickin' NXT champion. Why is she getting attacked? Oh, that's right. In case people haven't forgotten, she's a Raw superstar, not an NXT one. So, why is she traveling across all 3 brands? Oh, it's because you can't get enough of her. The executive want you to see Charlotte Flair. I know she's a good wrestler. She is a Flair, of course. She is a great wrestler. But shoving her down our throats is not going to do you any favours. all it's just going to do, it's not, and what makes it worse is, it's not going to generate, heat as in, oh, we don't like you. This is going to be go away heat, X-Pac heat. This is get off my screen. I may change channel heat. And it's unfortunate that I'm having to look up on reviews to see if she's on the show first, or to see results to see if she's on the show first, to quickly just go, see you later. Or if I do watch it live, and the second I do see it, it's like mute, or I'm gonna consider, I'll look away. I'm not looking at the screen. I'll go do something else, because I won't consider saying, well, she's adding to the story. Well, no, she isn't. She's involved herself. How does it? It's just trying to fathom it. She's got she's already got contenders already. Be it NXT in your house, where she's defending against 2 contenders. Be it Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai. Now, for me, that straight away there says, focus on that. Focus on that match. Push for that match. Focus. It means the world to you to defend your championship. Nah, I'm going to get greedy and go, I'll jump on Raw and go for another title. And then what happens if she wins it? I'm going to go to SmackDown. Oh, for God's sake. We've had one person do that. Becky Lynch did it. Now, I know what you're saying, but, Asuka's got no proper contenders. If she's got no contenders, stop bringing Charlotte Flair in all the time and make some new ones. Why don't you? Personally, this is one of the issues I have with WWE. The fact that they are pushing the same talents all the time, reiterating it over. Because what happens when, because Becky Lynch now gone off to be a mum. So Asuka was meant to be a contender for Becky Lynch, and said she'd have to take over. And you're saying, oh, but we've got no contenders for anybody. It's like, well, then why haven't you? Why haven't you built anybody? Why are you relying on the same people? You shouldn't keep relying on the same people. I understand that some people saying, oh, ratings, because of this, ratings that. If people are watching more because of Charlotte Flair being on there, fine. Me personally, I'll just switch off immediately the second I see Charlotte. You've now got me to the point where I don't care if I see Charlotte Flair. Even when she's defending the NXT Championship, it's like, oh, God. Skip or switch off. Move on. Same match. Bore. And she is, and this is the thing, I'm not doubting her. She is a good wrestler. But to try and portray it the way she... It's stupid, the fact that you've got her on NXT. Villain, yes, correct, how it should be. But then, taking on with her face and heel, so... Oh, she's a tweener. No, not so much. On Raw, people are booing her. Right crowd reaction. But then sticking in with Bayley and Sasha on SmackDown. Why is that happening? Because that's heel versus heel. Shouldn't be doing that. It comes across as clumsy writing. It comes across as, oh, we think Charlotte Flair should be heroic now. You flip-flopping flying. Pick a direction with her, go with it. If she's going to be NXT champion, get her focus on that. And make it an odd appearance. Shouldn't be going for any other championship. Whatever championship she's got, I understand that, she's got the capability of going for the Raw Women's Championship. The second you got her to go for to fight for a number contendership on Raw, yes, great opportunity to be a double champion. You've then just said she doesn't consider the NXT Championship as high as the Raw Women's Championship, which is massively, massively wrong. If you are going to do something like that, where she is going to be fighting for number contendership. If you want Charlotte to be a number one contender, have her defend the title at the same time. Because if that happens, she wins, boom, she's become number one contender, but also defended her championship. She's beating class after class after class after class. But then you'll book yourself into a position where it's the NXT Women's Championship against WWE Raw Women's Championship. And I know you're going to say, but then, you know, we can't have non-title match because Vince McMahon doesn't like saying non-titleship match, non-championship match. Doesn't like it, which is stupid. But the point being is, if you're going to put her in that position, champion versus champion. So then you're guaranteed whoever wins, if someone does win, you're guaranteed a new champion. If one of them wins. If not, and if it's a disqualification, then both sides end up getting protected and sort of, you keep your championship, done. Let's move on. Caputo. It just seems a bit ridiculous how they've booked themselves in a position where you've got Charlotte Flair. Hi, I'm Charlotte Flair. I'm going to cover everything. She's good. Yes, she's a Flair, but she shouldn't be on everything. If you're going to be pushing her for everything, it's weird. It's weird because I know people are saying, well, she's not on the branding. She's not on all the time. No, but when she does make an appearance, like, switch off. But that's my personal opinion. I'll get my colleagues' input on that potentially, hopefully next week. But me personally, Charlotte Flair, jog on. I don't care anymore. If you're going to be on all across the brands, I won't be watching you as much. And that is a shame because you are meant to be the NXT Women's Champion. And that is a bout I used to watch quite a lot. Heavily. Shayna Baszler, Rhea Ripley, when they had it. When all the past women who have had that NXT Championship, I was focused on it. Boom, watching it. I know you've had it before, Charlotte. I watched it. It was interesting then because you were developing in such an amazing talent then because you were primarily on NXT. It was interesting. Now it just seems as though you are just using the NXT Championship to say, I've got a belt. Whoop. An NXT Championship, Women's Championship, deserves much freaking better than that. Now, let's move on to the main subject that we've been trying to cover for multiple weeks. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do this subject initially when they debuted on NXT officially in their first match. In case anybody wants to know who I'm referring to, this is the debut for NXT. This was a debut a while back for NXT, which was in regards to Karrion Cross and Scarlett. Now, I will state, amazing entrance. Absolutely brilliant. The only downside with it, I do feel as though it's weird how they've handled him. How they're handling it. Karrion Cross is an amazing wrestler. WWE could end up doing a bit of a history repeating itself moment. And if it does, it will be an absolute massive shame. In case if anybody wants to know why I state, could history be repeating itself? I am basically referring to a past moment in WWE. Now, I'll explain what is the issue. Karrion Cross is debuting. He comes out. He looks like the big man on campus. Now for the entrance, where's the camera mostly? Oh, not on the guy wrestling. On the manager. On the ballet. On Scarlett. So for the entrance, Scarlett's getting the most attention. Now, it's an amazing entrance. It really, really is. And I don't discredit. I just feel as though if you're going to have an entrance like that, then Karrion during the match should be on boom, 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 vicious, 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 rip, boom, 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 pick up, yank, boom, slam, done. He should be ripping people to pieces, which he is, but at a slower rate, which doesn't do him any favours. It should be that he's getting, he doesn't get paid by the hour sort of thought. He's just there to whoop somebody and get the hell out. I want in, done. There's the body count. Out. Right? And this is where I think history could end up repeating itself, because WWE on some of the entrants, they seem to be focusing on Scarlett quite a bit on the entrance. Could it be that because where have we seen that before? Where a valet became more popular than the actual worker. Where does that ring a bell? Oh yes, why don't we go back in history to when Mark Merrow and Sable arrived. When Mark Merrow and Sable arrived, what was so important to do is focus on Sable, focus on Sable, focus. Then remember, Sable's helping Mark Merrow get over. Boom. Then they go, oh no, let's switch it because people are focusing on Sable more. Fine, it did work, but then you had basically Sable bury Mark Merrow when they broke up. Mark Merrow became he's gone. But after that, he was basically not technically massive. He was not a main event star. And any main event run that they were considering for him was gone. After that, and Sable was getting pushed, potentially to the moon. But then she left. Now, could history repeat itself? Personally, I don't think it will. Especially with Karrion Cross and Scarlett and how they've been working with each other, not just in WWE, not just in NXT. They've been working and helping each other throughout the independents. I feel as though they've been doing it a lot. I feel if Mark Merrow, or Johnny B. Bad was doing it with Sable, was doing his work with Sable before WWE, then let me know. But I feel as though Karrion Cross and Scarlett have been doing it a lot longer. And even, although, okay, yes, they didn't link up in Impact Wrestling when it was Killer Cross and, Scarlett Bordeaux. They kept them apart, doing different things, which could have worked, potentially. Could have been a direction that WWE could have gone down. But I feel as though they do actually fit well together. Now, I feel as though to correct this mistake, they need to have Karrion coming in going, I've got the killer instinct, instead of slam, look menacing, react, menace, stare at the camera, menace. He's recovering. The opponent is getting up and recovering. If he was such a lethal guy, he should be running. Big suplex. Boom. A glare at the camera. A smirk. Yank the opponent off the canvas. No, I'm going to let you get up to recover your own energy because I am that confident. It does spew confidence. It just doesn't. It can be, to some, can be described as though I can't be bothered to pick you up. I'm going to just maul you, which could be safer for the other worker. But at the same time, if you want to portray a true monster, have him literally thrown around like a rag doll. Hell, if you come down to, go for the old-fashioned of, boom, there's one move, yank him up, boom, there's another, go for the pin, 1, 2. Nope. I'll lift his arm up. Hit the finisher. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Jobbing. How it, the old school terminology of jobbing, and that would get more weight behind it than manage Luke. Slam, manage Luke. Let him get up, manage. Slam, manage Luke, manage Luke. WWE seems to be doing it a little. The glare a little bit too long. Because the idea being is if you're in a match, you should just be, boom, you should be going for the pin, you should be going for it straight away, not, yeah, I'm salivating. It shouldn't be that. If you are going to be salivating, it should be, boom, get up. Be gripping the guy and then salivating it. Actually be holding him while you give him a quick strike. So it's like, boom, I'm enjoying this. Boom. And that's what it should be. And it's weird. It seemed to be it's almost like missing a little bit of a beat. But hopefully, fingers crossed, history doesn't repeat itself. If it does, it would be a massive shame. Because I feel as though Karrion Cross does deserve much more than that. And yes, I do think Scarlett can go very, very far in the business. But the question is would she be able to? She works well with Karrion Cross, especially with the look of what she's got. Could you see her doing that with anybody else? And like we said, it might actually work with them because yes, they are together. But straight away, going forward, I think they need to. If they're going to keep the entrance as it is, Karrion needs to be more vicious and vindictive in the ring, and should be literally yanking his opponents off the canvas to pretty much punish them. To basically say, I am that much better than you. You are my plaything, sort of thing. And that's what it should be. Anyway, my personal thoughts on this is that I hope that history doesn't repeat itself, where a valet gets put over, sort of a valet gets massively pushed over a wrestler. Unless she is planning on being a full-time wrestler, I have no issues with that then. But then I feel as though both of them don't deserve to be against each other at any point. They work well together, and they should be linked together because yes, they are a couple, and I feel as though they could do much, much more. But we'll have to wait and see what comes about. Hopefully, the next time you hear from me in regards to this subject, I'm not stating history has repeated itself. So that's going to be it for this week for what I'm covering for the discussions for this week. I know originally we did have another subject for this week, but I've held it off because with JB not being here, hopefully going to save it for next week, which is WWE workers doing different from what they've been known for, meaning they're more famous for doing high flying instead of WWE going, let's do some groundwork, or he's more famous for being a good guy, let's give him a heel, but we'll have different intakes. I believe Balor's got his, he doesn't like it, he may not like it, It could be an interesting chat because I believe me and JB have got different opinions on that matter and could actually be an interesting episode. So with that, that's going to be a wrap up for the discussions for this week. So I'm now going to be moving on to the plug. So with that, I recommend you all check out UK The Way, also known as UK Wrestling Alliance, especially the social media. For photography, for any photography needs, if you are requiring it, even though at the moment in time you won't be able to use them, I'm going to recommend Tony Knox, Jetix Turbo Photography, and Kevin Swift Photography. For any recording needs, if you were able to do it during this pandemic, but at the moment in time I don't think you could, I would recommend BA Productions and SW Video. And for charitable organisations, recommend you check out Change for Health and Wellbeing, Change Recovery Radio, Mind, Messy for Mind, Donna Louise Hospice Care for Children and Young People, Cancer Research UK. Please check out, please check them out because they are massively important. The information that they do provide could end up massively helping you out, or it could end up helping you help somebody else out. The information could prove vital. You never know. We, of course, also recommend you check out the lighter side of professional wrestling by checking out Botchamania, WrestleCrap, and OS Review. You're welcome, Matthew. You're welcome, RD Reynolds. And, of course, you're welcome, OSW Review, lads. You do absolutely amazing work. I, of course, also recommend you check out the some fellow podcast broadcasters, be it, one hosted by Magic Mark Adams, especially his Pull or Pass show, where you can talk all things geeky. I believe that he's also got a current one that is currently ongoing due to the pandemic, which is Don't Say the C Word. Always entertaining. Highly recommended. You got We the Independent. That's an IE, not a Y, which has got Debbie Starr and Sugar Dunkerton, or aka Pineapple Pete, on there doing interesting interviews as such, and it's always interesting. I also recommend you check out Think Wrestling, hosted by Doctor Who actor. We are referring to the commentator that I use for UKWA. Massively, especially his talking wrestling interviews is massively interesting. I have heard things about Train Pop Culture coming back. As for the official date when that comes back, I'll hopefully have one out soon. And of course, I recommend you check out Hatred Theory. If you have got some hate in you and you want to get it off your chest, check them out and share. I believe they have listener hates moments where you can throw in, something that you hate, and they will discuss about it. It will be interesting. And we, of course, also recommend you check out Kayfabe Music, where they do the music for they do the main theme music for The Burning Truth. I've had some music made for them, for myself, when I'm able to return to wrestling, and it's absolutely amazing work that they do. I, of course, also recommend you check out Turnbuckle TV, where it's almost, how much? What was it? £1 a week almost? It's $3.99. And you've got a massive, wide range of, shows on there, wrestling company shows, for just $3.99. We've even got, I believe, we've even got Wrestle Talk TV, which is, I believe, an additional £2 potentially, which is absolutely interesting. And highly recommend you check it out. But please do check it out and give it a watch. We, of course, also recommend you always check out any local wrestling promotions on their social media, be it FCW, United Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Feud, Future Shock Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling, Fallen Star Wrestling, Venom Wrestling Federation, Slam Wrestling, Wolfen Pro Wrestling. You get away. I know I've already said that once, as such. But please do check them out on their social media. They do potentially possibly need it right now, especially during these times. And in case if you want to know more about how far they are away from you, or when shows do eventually start coming back into place, if you want to know where local promotions are or where certain wrestlers are going to be, check out Babyface Wrestling app, which is a free app on your mobile, where I believe they have got some blogs on there, which is interesting to read, but you can follow wrestlers that you like and also companies that you're interested in following. We, of course, also recommend you check out the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruth.com. And just for the record, we know what's on there. You know what's on there, but I'll just state the following. Any external links that are on the links page, we cannot be held responsible for, as we do not have control of them. So please do not hold us responsible for the content. So we have to put that one disclaimer out. And check out our social media. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We are on YouTube. We are on Instagram. And if you want to listen to any past episodes of The Burning Truth, you can, of course, check it out on the website itself. You can check it out on Spreaker, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Deezer, and many other sources. And that's going to be a wrap-up for this week. So, thank you very much for listening to this episode, and I'm just going to state this. I hope you all stay well and stay safe, and when I say that, I don't just mean it physically, I mean it mentally. Of course, I'm going to plug in mental health, as always, at this moment in time, because yes, it's something that I massively believe in, and it is okay to be not okay, and asking for help isn't a weakness, and you could end up finding out there's more care for you than you ever know. I still believe in the quote from Tom Campbell on Cultaholic, which is never compare your behind the scenes to other people's greatest hits. And I'm just going to promote this one as well for mental health. Please don't, if you are online, be careful what you put out there. If you are throwing hate towards somebody, what you could be typing on the keyboard, you could be throwing it out there. It could be a few seconds of you typing that in, a few seconds of you thinking and hitting that send button. But that could actually be, when they read it, that could be stuck in their minds for a lifetime. An absolute lifetime. And I will state for the record, the Burning Truth does not tolerate cyberbullying and is massively against it. If we do see it, we will call you out on it. So with that is a wrap up for this week. Thank you very much for listening to myself on possibly one of my rambles potentially, but I do appreciate you listening either way. If you found this episode interesting, let me know. Send a message, be it either through social media, through the email as such. We want to hear from you, but until, we want to hear from you and hear your input, make it a conversation. And on top of that, if you have got a topic that you want us to discuss about, do send it in and mention it. Because the funny thing about it is, when you do send it in, we will mention your name and state that we had this person mention this topic to discuss. We will always give credit in regards to any interesting subject if you want to discuss about it. But until next week, I hope you all stay well, stay safe, and until the next episode, which will be next week, please check out your local wrestling promotions social media. Please, during this time, give a call to a family member or a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, or just give a call to someone you haven't spoken to in a while. You could end up helping make their day and potentially be helping them out in a massive way. But until then, stay well, stay safe, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Until then, catch you laters.